Hey guys, I guess you all are going well. Stay home safely and we are here to assist you. So as much as we can, we will be helping you guys with different topics. So today we will discuss about resources. So now before starting this, let me just tell you. So there are so many things which we can use in different ways to use those things and make other different valuable things to that fulfill our needs, isn't it? So there are there are so many raw materials that can be used to fulfill our needs. So resources are something like that, the things which can be used for different other useful things to meet our needs. Now, as you see, in the early times, when Earth first came up and when early man used to live, so they did not have their knowledge and skills, they did not have anything. So they couldn't know how to use the natural resources that are present in the nature. So suppose we have rocks, we have fire. So they did not know how to use fire, or they did not know how to use rocks. But slowly and steadily, early man, with their knowledge, with their skills, they understood the usefulness of those particular things so that they can fulfill their needs. And this way, when fire was first invented, they understood how useful fire was to fulfill their needs in cooking, in saving their lives from the animals. The same way, when they understood that the rocks can be made into some tools which can save their lives from animals, they made that. So this way, human beings started using their knowledge and power to make different things into valuable or useful things that meets our needs. Now, then what is a resource? Resources are the things that can be transformed into more valuable things to fulfill human needs, such as water, as we use water for drinking. So fruits are there, fruits also meet our hunger, isn't it? Now rocks, as I have said just now, that rocks can be cut into different shapes and sizes for making tools and weapons, isn't it? And clay, that means soil. Soil is also used for making houses. Rocks are also used for making houses, building houses and all these things. So these kinds of things that can be transformed into valuable things or something useful. So that is called a resource. Now, there are so many things already present in our nature that are used as a resource. Like we have the wind that is used as wind energy. We have the sun, we use those sunlight to as solar energy, isn't it? We have water, by water we make those hydroelectricity, isn't it? So this way we have so many things that can be used as a resource to fulfill our needs. Now, as we have so many things in this world, so these different resources are divided into various groups. Now, first one is natural. Now, what are natural resources? Natural resources are something that are already present in nature. So that belongs from nature. We don't have to grave it out. We don't have to put it out from somewhere. Just it is natural, and we need to know how to use those natural resources. Next come up, that is human. Now, there is a difference between human resource and human-made resources. Most of you confuse this fact that human, what is this human resource? Human resource is something that human beings is the most intelligent resource that is present in this world. We human beings can make useful things out of the natural resources. With our knowledge, with our skills, with our efforts, we can make use these natural resources into finished goods. Understood? And what are these human-made resources? These human-made resources are those resources that are made by the human beings itself. Understood? So we will discuss about it briefly. So here comes natural resources. Now, what are these natural resources? The resources that we get from the nature, such as land, water, air, soil, minerals, natural vegetation, sunshine, and different kinds of fossil fuels that we get. So all these things comes up under natural resources, as they all are derived from the nature. Now, these natural resources are further classified into 4 divisions. Now, see here, first come up origin, second come up renewability, third development, and fourth come up distribution. Now, all these things, all these natural resources are classified into 4 major groups. First come up origin. Now, origins means what? The resources from where they took their birth, from where they came up. Now, under this origin, the natural resources are divided into 2 types. First, biotic, and second, abiotic. Now, what are these biotic resources? The biotic resources are obtained from the living things. Now, who are the living things? Animals, plants, microorganisms. So, all these things are living things. So, from them what we get? So, wood we get from plants, crops we get from plants, medicines we get from plants, leather we get from animal skin, milk also we get from animals. So, all these things that we get from the living things comes under biotic resources. Second is abiotic resources. Now, abiotic resources, we obtain it from the non-living things. Now, abiotic resources we get from water, air, land, such as rocks and minerals we get from land. Then hydroelectricity we get from water, isn't it? So windmills, wind energy we get from air. So all these things comes under abiotic resources. Second, now under this renewability, the natural resources are classified into 2 forms. One is renewable resources, second is non-renewable resources. Now, what are these renewable resources? The resources which do not get exhausted even after continuous usage. That is known as renewable resources. Now, such as we use sunlight. We know sunlight can be used into solar energy, isn't it? So we can renew it, and it is in abundant amount, so we don't have to think of its usage, isn't it? So this sunlight, air also same. So sunlight, air, all these things comes under renewable resources. Now, it is also termed as inexhaustible resources, as there is no fear of exhaustion of all these resources. Understood? Now, second is non-renewable resources. Now, under these non-renewable resources, we get such as coal, petroleum, natural gas. So all these things comes under non-renewable resources. Why? Because we have that fear that it is in less amount and we need to use it very carefully so that it don't get exhausted. Understood? So these non-renewable resources are also termed as exhaustible resources. Understood? Now, third comes up as development. Under this development, natural resources are divided into 2. That is, one is potential, another is actual. Now, what are these potential resources? There is most of the students might confusion within this potential and actual. Understand this portion. That is, what is potential resources? Potential resources, the resources that have not been used in their full potential. That means we know that those resources are very useful. We know how it can be used, but it is not used up to its potential. Now, such as in Africa, you will see there are lots of waterfalls. Understood? We know that from water we can generate hydroelectricity, but out of those waterfall, it is not been utilized still now. So those waterfalls in Africa comes under these potential resources. Second is actual resources. Now what are these actual resources? The resources whose total quality and quantity are presently known and can be put to actual use. That means the resources whose quantity and how it will be used, we are aware of it and we are using it to give its full potential, to give its what? We are meeting our needs by using those things. Understood? Such as wind. We know that air can be used as wind energy. So we have created different windmills and from there we can harness this wind energy. Understood? So wind comes up as the actual resources as we know its full potential and we are using this wind into wind energy. Understood? Now the fourth one, that is under this distribution, these natural resources can be divided into two. First, ubiquitous. Second, localized. Now, what is this first one? Now, this is very easy. That ubiquitous means that is most prevalent and that is found abundantly. We don't have to fear for its extinction. Understood? Such as we have sunlight. Understood? We have air. So air and sunlight comes under this. Second is the localized one. Under these localized resources such as we all use gold, silver, coal. So we all know that all these things comes, gold, silver comes from mines, and at a certain point of time, after a certain point of time, this all will be what? Finished, or this all will get exhausted, isn't it? So this thing comes under localized, and the why it is termed as localized? Because we know these are only found in specific places. These are not found in other places. So that's why these gold, silver and coal are termed as localized natural resources. Understood, everyone? So I guess you got the idea about the resources and the natural resources what we have discussed. So till now up to this much, and in the next session we will continue from the human resources and the other human made resources. Thank you.